So first of all, let's see how we can declare strings in Android Studio. We're gonna go in this onCreate method, and I'm just gonna leave a comment like declare strings. And so I'm gonna say string. As you can see right now, we're using a capital letter at the beginning, so that's the proper way to do this declaration. And then we have to give a name, so let's say title, and also we can say string word. All kinds of names that you can give and usabilities for this string variables. And then we're gonna initialize strings. And so I'm just gonna say string and then the value for the and then the name. For the name I'm just gonna say application name, and in our case it's just demo. And also you can have string paragraph. Just so you know, you can put a value that has, for example, this many words. So it can be just a text. As you see, this one, it's a text that is used in web design whenever you want to check something like the font size and the color and how it is displayed on the screen. And so you can have a text. Just keep in mind that it will take a bit more memory. So if you increase the count, so the number of words in your string, then you will have a bit more space from your memory is going to be occupied. Otherwise, it's not going to take so much if you have only one word. And this is something that makes sense. And also you can do a couple of operations with strings. So for example, you want to have a message, and I'm gonna say, for example, in this message I'm gonna use my application name, and then I'm gonna say has, and then I'm gonna say 1. So I'm gonna attach this integer. As you can see right now, this is an integer, so it's gonna be converted to a string. And so everything that we have right here, strings, integers, variables and values, doesn't really matter. Everything is going to be converted to just a string value. So I'm just going to say my application has one text view, and I just want to make sure that we have spaces before I concatenate them. This plus sign means concatenation, so that is just a bit different than the addition operation that we have with numbers. And so I'm just going to use a toast message to display this message that we created. And then I'm going to run my application from this button. And so you'll see how you can concatenate all these values. And I'm saying that my application has one text view, and that is correct. At this moment, my application is called demo and has this hello world generated text view. And also you need to know that you can perform a couple of checks for some certain values. So instead of having this let's say demo, you can have, for example, this string, which is called the empty string. So this is the empty string. So if you want to check for it, so check for validation, and we're gonna have an if statement. So we're gonna say if application name is empty, so that's how you check if it's empty, then display this message. So I'm gonna display string is empty, and else, so otherwise. I'm just gonna get this message again, and I'm gonna customize it a bit. So I'm gonna say string is not empty. Okay, so let's run the emulator and see what's gonna be displayed. At this moment, we're expecting to see an empty string, since that's how we initialize it. So our string is empty, and if we change this to something different, then you're gonna see that it's gonna say that it's not empty. So I'm gonna run the emulator again, and we're gonna see that string is not empty. Now there are also some other string variables, and keep in mind that you can also check, for example, you want the application name to be something different. If you want to have, let's say, null, then what you can do is, since this is the null string, you don't want to have any problems, you don't want to specify this as well. I'm just gonna comment this line, so I don't want to just attach this null value right here. I don't want to have any problems. And also for this validation, I'm gonna say application name equals null. So that's how we check if it's null. And we're gonna go and change these messages. So string is null or string is not null. In our case, it will be null. So we're gonna see what's displayed on the screen. The null string is just a special value if you don't want to initialize your string. You just want to keep it as null. And also, if you want to check for comparison, so check for validation. Now if you check for comparison, so what that means is that you want to check your let's say this message over here. Let's change this back to demo, and I'm just gonna cut this comment right here. So we have this application name and we have this operation. So we create our message, demo has one text view, and then we check for comparison and we say we just want to compare if the value in our message, so I'm gonna say message, if it has demo has one text view, so exactly as the result of this one. And if you want to check them, then instead of using this two equal signs, we're gonna have a warning. So the warning says, as you can see right here, string values are compared using double equals, not equals function. We have to use that equals function, and I'm gonna show you right now how to use it. You have to use dot equals, and then inside these brackets you have to enclose the string that you want to compare. So we're comparing if this value is contained inside the message variable, and if it is, then we're going to say strings are equal, and if they're not, we're going to say strings are not equal. And so let's see what's going to be displayed on the screen. Just going to run the emulator. We're expecting to see that they are equal, so as you see right now, strings are equal, and as you can see right now, we declared our strings, initialized them, made some operations. We also checked for comparison for the strings, also for validation.